Welcome to today's edition of Weathering the Storms of Life with the Rainses. Rob Rains here with Sally Tippett Rains as well as we broadcast from our home office here in St. Louis. Another day that we're advised not to go anywhere, so hopefully everybody's following that advice and staying home, and we'll get through this thing sooner rather than later and be back to worrying about sports and dealing with sports every day.
Can't wait.
Yeah, me either. Obviously, when you've been around sports for 40 years and your whole life revolves around it, to have it not be a part of your daily life is quite an adjustment. So, but we'll get through it all okay. So we're going to start today's program with some movie quotes. We've found those to become popular on some of the earlier broadcasts that we've done here on this little podcast. So we're going to do some of those today with asking a quote, and we'll like you to name the movie that quote
Forgot my
came
words
from.
of wisdom.
Oh, well, I thought maybe
My
you were
words
saving
of-
that for tomorrow. I didn't
No,
know.
my words of inspiration. Uh, the
Speaking
one,
of quotes,
the one thing I wanted to point out today, if this is the first time you're watching it, I try to do a little bit of inspiration at the beginning of these, and then the rest of it's just fun. Oh, hey Ellie, how you doing?
she wants some words of wisdom.
Okay. Anyway, we are always trying to, be optimistic and positive, and we do the best we can to provide positive things for you on the site. But even we have both woken up at two different times and just been, terrified about what's going on. So I just would like to encourage you this week, when they're starting to tell us how this is the worst week ever, and next week's going to be worse than the worst week ever, just, kind of center yourself, try to stay calm. We're all going to be okay. Most of us, it's going to be over someday, and we're going to have Easter this week, and let's just all try to remain as calm as we can. And this is my words of wisdom. Probably one of the best things you can think of is the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I think in these troubled times, that's a great thing to think about. We can't change things that are happening, but we can change our attitude. And just stop watching CNN and Fox News, and stop doing your Twitter all the time and looking at everything. Just,
Yeah.
Start focusing on positive things, and you can get more peace in your heart.
Agreed. Okay, so now to the movie quotes. We found out, as I say, a lot of people like the movie quotes, so we're going to name a quote and like you to name the movie that quote came from. Question one: May the force be with you. May the force be with you.
Question 2, there's no place like home. Number 2, there's no place like home.
And we're all finding that out.
That's a perfect quote for today, yes.
Question 3: I am the king of the world. I am the king of the world.
Number 4, carpe diem, seize the day, boys. Make your lives extraordinary.
Question 5: Elementary, my dear Watson. Elementary, my dear Watson.
Number 6, it's alive, it's alive. That's not exactly how they say it, but I don't want to give it away. So.
Exactly. Question 7: My mama always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Pretty famous quote.
So that was number 7. Number 8, I'll be back. These are pretty easy, but we're finding out people are telling us they like to get the easy ones because they like to
Sure.
get answers right.
Number somehow we went from 8 to 11 on our question here. I don't know how that happened, but
Your pages aren't
precious,
numbered, so don't
my
worry about
precious.
it.
The next question is my precious. What movie did that quote "my precious" come from?
All right, the next one is Houston, we have a problem.
Then we have "There's no crying in baseball." Most people should
The
know
next
that.
one is E.T. Phone Home.
Then we have "You Can't Handle the Truth." What movie did that come from?
And this is a good one. A martini, shaken, not stirred.
There we have "Life is a banquet, and most poor suckers are starving to death." Life is a banquet, and most poor suckers are starving to death.
Our next quote is If you build it, he will come.
Then we have "The stuff that dreams are made of." The stuff that dreams are made of.
All right. Second to the last one, magic mirror on the wall, who's the fairest one of all? Or it might be mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
And the last quote for today's quiz: "Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer." Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Are these the only ones we're doing today?
Yes.
This is the movie quotes? Okay,
Yes.
cool.
So now we'll go to the answers for the movie quotes.
May the force be with you, of course.
Star Wars,
There's no place like home.
The Wizard of Oz,
Clicking your heels together, thinking
exactly. Ruby Slippers. I'm the King of the World from Titanic. Carpe Diem seize the day, boys, make your lives extraordinary was from Dead Poets Society.
it. Number 5 was Elementary, My Dear Watson. That was The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. That was 1939 movie.
Yeah, like Wizard of Oz. A lot of movies came out then.
That was the best. I would say the best year of movies. It was great. So many. Gone with the Wind, Wizard of Oz,
The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Stagecoach.
The
What?
Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. We just read it here.
There you go.
Another one came out that year. It's Alive, It's Alive was Frankenstein.
That was in 1931.
Older, yes.
hmm
Okay. My mama always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Of course, it was Forrest Gump.
I'll Be Back was The Terminator. That was in 1984.
A long time ago. My Precious was from The Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, 2002.
And of course, number 12 was Houston, We Have a Problem. That was Apollo 13.
There's No Crying in Baseball, A League of Their Own, Tom Hanks.
One of everybody's favorite movies.
E.T. Phone Home, of course, was in E.T. the Extraterrestrial. You Can't Handle the Truth, A Few Good Men.
A Martini Shaken Not Stirred was from Goldfinger, which was in 1964.
I have to say I didn't remember that one. Life is a
Oh,
banquet.
that's a super famous quote.
Life is a I didn't say it wasn't. I just didn't remember. Life is a banquet, and most poor suckers are starving to death was from Auntie Mame. If you build it, he will come. Field of Dreams.
Now that was in 1989. It's kind of hard to believe it was that long ago. That was a long time ago.
Yeah,
1989. Although it seems like yesterday to some of us.
it does. The Stuffs That Dreams Are Made Of was from the Maltese Falcon.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest one of all? That was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. That was in 1937.
And the final question for today, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer, came from The Godfather Part 2, coming out in 1974. So that's today's edition of Weathering the Storm of Life with the Rangers. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you did well on those quizzes. We'll be back with another edition of the program tomorrow here on STLSportsPage.com and on RainbowsForKids.org.